It's been 5 minutes since you're about to start.
Ooh. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been too long. We're here, we're live, and we're ready to take your calls. Give us a shout. The number's on the screen, 1-631-458-1971. We're taking your calls tonight about anything you want to chat about. In the future, you're probably going to see some more structured streams. We're working on some stuff. But tonight, the gloves are off. There's no agenda except for talking to you guys, saying thank you so very, very, very much for all of the support. I don't know, honey, did you ever see any of this stuff coming?
No, not really.
I thought we'd get like 2 or 3 people that were like, what's up with this guy farting in a hallway trying to sleep with little kids? I had no idea. So we're very, very grateful to you guys that have been with us from way on back. And tonight we want to hear from you. We're going to take your calls. We're going to talk to you a little bit about what does the future of our channel look like. I'm sure you guys have noticed we haven't been nearly as active as we once were. We have 2-year-old twins. I don't think we really need to say more than that. I mean, 2-year-olds are wild. Absolutely wild. What's going on in the chat, honey?
Oh, just a couple of trolls.
A couple of trolls. A couple of trolls. Are you from Long Island, New York? No, we're not from Long Island, New York. If you think I'm going to put my personal cell phone number up on that screen, you're crazy. I'm not a troll. All right, honey, in the kindest terms that you can, if it's even repeatable, what was the message that you deleted?
They were saying that we took too long to get to the stream, and then the same one said something under the lines of what we did to, what was it, creep poachers or something like that was BS.
Oh, no, I don't think that was BS.
And then we need to
caller, are you
steal
live?
all
Can
of
you
our
hear us?
views or something like that.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear us?
Hello?
Hello, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Hardly, man. This is Numgum.
Numgums, I'm trying to speak with you here. I heard you say Numgums, but that's about the only thing in the world I heard you say.
Yeah, I was going to keep it brief anyway. You can hear this, man.
Barely.
We're getting that monster number off the stream, bro. You just go ahead and just live stream and do your thing.
Oh, there's a... Keep going. Are you still with us? I think we've lost Numgums. Numgums, if you want to try it again, we're still trying to fight through a few things here, get it all figured out. But hit us back if you can.
Predator poachers, by the way.
No, there's no beef with predator poachers.
And they're saying you mocked him. That's
No,
why
we didn't certainly not mock predator poachers. Listen, I'm not going to mock anybody that does what we do, okay? Because it's literally one of the wildest and craziest things you can do. I mean, literally you could be shot, you could be stabbed, you could be fucking run over. Anybody that's doing that, I'm not going to mock them. There was one video in particular, I think we mentioned it in front of a few people that help us manage some things with the channel, and they put up a video of it, presumptively just to get other people's take on it. But me personally, I don't think that predator poachers is a racist. I think that predator poachers is someone that's trying very hard. He's doing a tremendous amount of catches. I just think that sometimes the jokes get a little carried away. That's just me, though. That's everybody has their own style, right? That's everybody.
It doesn't matter that they have more subscribers than we do.
Yeah, this is not a dick measuring contest. This is let's try to get together and do something cool for the world.
Ringing.
Hello, hello. Can you hear us? Hello, can you hear us? Hello, speak now or forever hold your peace. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Let me try something here. Alright, I'm sorry I missed your calls. Try again. We're still working through some things. This is the first time we've attempted to do this. Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Let me mute the speaker here. Okay, yes.
All right, awesome. We're working through this thing. It's not easy. I mean, especially if you're not like a tech genius.
Yeah, you guys aren't a radio station, so it's all good.
We own a radio station.
You're not a radio station. In other words, radio stations, they do it for a living, right? They have it all down. You guys are here helping humanity, as it were. And, so it's understandable that there be some technical difficulties.
Well, I appreciate your forgiveness. I hope everybody's as forgiving as you are.
Well, I don't know. I speak to people for a living on the phone, so, I'm used to all sorts of things happening. I've been watching your channel for some time, and all the videos that I've seen that have all been related to predators and, catching pedophiles and, things like that. I don't know if you do much more, but what I wanted to cover here tonight and ask you guys is if you're familiar with what sort of an online way of finding predators and catching them and getting them busted all online. Like, you're looking for people on Discord, you're looking for, online predators. Are you familiar with that?
I haven't tried that yet. I mean, I think it goes without saying that kind of thing's going to exist. We have typically stuck with things like Tinder, Grindr. When we first started, you could still get on Craigslist and, post an ad. And we've stuck with those revenues so far, but undoubtedly there's a lot of other avenues, excuse me. One of them that scares the death out of me that we're thinking about taking on is with the gaming, through PlayStation, Xbox, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
You start thinking about things like, I don't know, what's a popular? Fortnite.
There's like Roblox. I've heard about Roblox.
Yeah, I've heard of Roblox as well. I mean, these kind of games where, people can voice chat with the people they're playing with is an open door for predators as well.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's the kind of thing that, logistics are kind of keeping me back from doing live stings, because I want to do live stings where I live, but, there's a lot involved, and you really need a team of people because you're going to be meeting with these sick individuals face to face, and so there's a pretty huge risk, potentially, that something could snap off there. So you really need a team and everything, so that's kind of holding me back. But if you start focusing on online activities, that's something that I can do immediately,
No, that's absolutely true. You wouldn't, the likelihood of you being able to catch them in person, in my opinion, would probably be unlikely, just because when you're playing with gamers, I mean, you're playing with people from across the country, across the world. When you're dealing with something, say, Tinder or any of the other dating apps, that kind of thing, you're dealing with people in more of a local area, which is what gives you the capability of, confronting them in person. But absolutely.
Getting them on video, ruining their lives, ruining their social standing, their relationships, everything. Just making them pay so that they understand that, it's not okay, if you will, to use that colloquial phrase, it's not okay, it's disgusting. And, it's so awesome to see that social nuke go off, the really good predator hunters, that's what they do. They make sure that the job knows, and that all the Facebook friends know, everybody knows.
Yeah, I mean, that's half the game right there. We always let the employment know. We do background checks before we even go into a catch, so oftentimes immediately after the catch we're in touch with, wives, things of that nature, just to make sure that people know. Predator poachers and us have a few things in common, and we have a lot of differences. We have a totally different angle of attack on things. I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't find some of their content very funny. Indeed, I do. But it's simply not my style. I'm more into the journalism aspect, and I'd like to, if possible, when possible, get them into a situation where they're going to actually talk to me. They're going to tell me what's going on. Of course, at first they're going to bullshit me. They always do.
Of course. They lie immediately, and they all say the same thing. Have you noticed? Everyone says the same thing. The first thing they're going to say was, besides what? I mean, they're going to say, well, the meat was innocent. There was nothing.
They're always there to help. It's the damnedest thing. They're always there to help.
Exactly.
One of the videos that we've had to put up, take down, play this back and forth game, was of us confronting a gentleman, a truck driver.
Wow.
Yeah. It's on our other channel. If you guys know what that channel is, then you can check it out. If you don't, then that'll be released here sometime very soon.
I know Truckers Against Predators. That's a really awesome channel, too.
Truckers Against... I haven't seen Truckers Against Predators.
It's called
that sounds interesting.
It's on YouTube. That dude's awesome. And there's also this other mainstream trucking... it's Truckers Against Trafficking. And those folks are super awesome. Like, I was thinking of patrolling the local truck stops to try to... Because what happens is they bring in these vehicles and with maybe like 6 different women in there, and sometimes they can be underage women, right? So it's child trafficking. And then all I have to do is just video the license plate, and then I can call an 800 number and report them. It's so cool.
I think that's very cool. I mean, I wouldn't... I think that's a wonderful idea. Why not do it? I know. And also, thank you very much for introducing us and the other viewers to yet another Predator Catchers channel. That's what we're here to do. There's no dick measuring contest. This is not about who's who, what's what, or any of that stuff. This is simply...
Right on.
If it was a targeted message, I would say that we are putting these people on notice. Okay, we're not tolerating this shit anymore. Okay, we're not going to sit back and do nothing. A lot of people are blaming the police. Folks, let me tell you something. Every officer that I've spoken to off camera about this says the same thing.
Off the record.
It's not that I don't want to do something about it. It's that my hands are tied.
I can't.
I can't. And believe me, if you think that we as viewers of this or we as catchers from either angle are frustrated, some of the police officers that I've spoken to, frustrated wouldn't even be a proper description of how they feel. But at the end of the day, they have to abide by, what their standard operating procedures are, as well as the law. And the other angle is,
that you try to get the DA to act on it, or if the chief or whatever is going to allow that, and if they say no, it's just like they're just going to release the guy, and that's it.
well, that's in fact what happens, and it's incredibly frustrating. But we can't lose sleep over the things that we can't control, right? We can only
that
plunge
social
forward.
nuke is everything, man. It's everything. The social nuke is absolutely everything. When we can blow up their lives, and ruin all their soul. They like to blend in. They like to pretend that they're part of society and they have friends and all of this, and they hide their true selves from the light. But when we expose them, it's like bam, and that's what we can do 100% of the time, and no one gets in our way. You know what I mean? There's no one that can say no.
Well, that's our freedom of speech right there. We have been told by some police municipalities that, we're never to do this again in their town. Okay, you're not to do this. And my response to them is, I understand that, you're concerned for my safety. I'm also concerned for your safety. I think that you as a police officer probably have a more likelihood of getting shot than I do. But at least you're, financially compensated for taking that risk. We're taking the same risk without the financial without the reward or the compensation. And, we have the right to do so. And if we had more support, legislatively, I would have no problem putting these people under citizen's arrest. I never want to go hands-on with somebody. I don't think...
right, like Innocent Voices and all those Brit channels, man, the local authorities over there in Britain, across the entire country, have actually taken action as like an entire country. Every police, they deal with every department, and have you seen those channels? Have you seen all those Brit channels where the police come right out and cuff them and they do a citizen's arrest and everything?
Absolutely, and I think that's the way it should be. There should be a citizen's arrest made. The authorities should be able to come in, take a perspective look at things. We should have the opportunity to present our evidence, and they should have the opportunity to mount whatever kind of bullshit defense that they want to mount.
Right? Because it's always airtight. It's always 100%. And the conviction rate when it goes to court is like soaring, unless you have one of these liberal judges or quote-unquote liberal judges that, just like kick it out. That's the only time that, it doesn't get a conviction is because the judge just says, oh, no, there's no merit here, and then it goes out. Otherwise, if a jury sees the evidence, it's 100% conviction.
I mean, there's no way. The evidence always speaks for itself. We always give people an opportunity to try to bullshit us for a second. We'll go with it for a second, and then we'll just go straight to the chat log and let the evidence speak for itself. The guy, the truck stop guy, he told who he believed was 13-year-old Lily through text that he had a vasectomy. Now, when we confronted the guy, he says, I'm only here to, help. I'm concerned. I want to speak to this young lady, make sure everything's okay. And it's like, well, sir, I hear you saying that to me, but why would you tell a 13-year-old girl, or who you believe to be a 13-year-old girl, that you've had a vasectomy? I mean, if you hold the door for somebody, if you're just trying to help, you hold the door, and somebody's walking through. As they're walking through, do you tell them, hey, just so you know, so you're aware, just want to make sure you know, ma'am, I've had a vasectomy. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. Well, hey, thank you so much for your call this evening. We've appreciated it.
Anytime, you guys are awesome. And, I'm glad you throw in a positive bone for predator poachers. Thank you for that. That was one of the most popular threads that I ever wrote, was about predator poachers. So anyway, we should all get along. We shouldn't be fighting each other.
No. We're all on the same page. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. We're all stronger together. Everybody has a different, style, a different flow, a different angle, and anybody that's willing to stand up and do this in a way that's, not a lynch mob. It might be a recording mob. You might end up online, but anybody that's willing to use their words and not their fists to deal with this issue and record it, I've got respect for. Thanks again for your call. Hello, can you hear us? Hello, can you hear us?
Hello?
Hello, I hear you. Do you hear me?
I can hear you, man.
All right, what's going on? Who are you?
This is Numb Gums. What's going on?
Numb Gums.
Long time viewer here, man.
I swear to God, I think you were with us from like right around 25, 30 subscribers. Back in like the Joseph Martelli days.
Absolutely, man. With the streams with 21st CM, all that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, 21st Century Man, awesome. We did a very brief live show the other night. He called in, we had a nice chat, it was great.
Here, so my question was, Robinson went down hard, and you were hugely instrumental in that. I mean, do you feel any, like, pride from that? Have you gotten any kind of local, praise, thanks, anything like that? The big fish, man.
We've had some, but honestly, that wasn't our intent. That wasn't our intent at all. Our intent was to put him on notice, which we did. I mean, you were following from the time of, us recording in front of a building that he would go to daily, letting him know, listen, we know who you are, we know what you're doing, we found your pictures, you're going to stop, or we're going to spend every ounce of energy that we have, outside of taking care of our responsibilities and our children, to track down every single place that you're taking these photos, and we're going to let him know. And that's what happened. And then they ended up letting somebody else know, one of the supermarkets that we went to, we spoke with the manager. The manager actually recognized the father and a child from the video and said, I'm going to let this person know right away. They did. And the next thing you know, it was viral. And, next thing you know, they're taking all of his computer devices, and lo and behold, there's the child porn. I don't think any of us were particularly surprised by that.
Right, so you cast the line out for something smaller than you expected, right? They came back, the authorities in Maine came back, seized his electronics, and found, exactly what they were looking for, huh?
A bunch of dirty, nasty stuff. But, he's in jail. He only got 2 years. Here's the thing that... Listen, I'm going to set my phone down. You tell me if you can't hear me well, but I'm trying to hold the phone up so that the microphone, you can hear me, and yet I'm speaking into the microphone so everybody else can hear me.
My speaker or something is broken. This phone is old as hell.
All right, well...
If my phone is on the screen, if my audio is that bad...
Hey, hold up. Thank you very much for the $5 donation. It says, thank you guys. We should be like in England, all team together. And you know what, guys? That's honestly, thank you. Thank you for that, because that's exactly what our tone should be. Everybody take your own angle. Everybody has their own, creative license, if you will. And let's start shining a light on a very dark spot. Okay, the police are going to do what they can do. Their budgets are limited. Legislation oftentimes sucks. So let's do our part. Let's not pass the buck on the police department, pass the buck on everybody. We all as civilians have the absolute right to record this bullshit and to display it for the world. And that will have its own consequence, certainly. Anyhow, thank you very much for that comment. I'm back with you, Numb Gums. Are you still there?
I'm still here, man.
All right.
If my audio is really bad, I just want to get the point across. Between you and Jesse P.S., I'm just grateful for how instrumental both of you were in taking down that monster Robinson. I'm from New England myself, and up here everything is pretty local, so I knew about that. It made its way down here, down towards the southern part of New England, and just props, man. I'm not used to being on a live stream, so that's all I got. really admire that.
Well, thank you very much for the support. You've certainly been with us for a long, long time. Did you follow the Joseph Martelli thing too?
What's that?
Did you follow the Joseph Martelli thing as well?
Yeah, the whole drunken peasants thing I've been watching since that whole shit with T.J. Kirk. Yep.
Okay, yeah, no, that was a good time too.
About that guy.
Do you remember him telling me to hang my children and all this crazy wild bullshit?
What'd you say?
Do you remember him telling me to hang my children? He would say the most awful goddamn things to me, for just about no reason, just for being constructive and actually trying to help this guy.
He's an absolute head case, man.
Oh my God. Well, when we showed up in Niagara Falls, I mean, there's a video out there of us showing up in Niagara Falls in front of his house with a bullhorn. I mean, with a freaking bullhorn. And bro wouldn't come out.
Chasing down that fucking fat Trump down the street in Augusta, man, is always going to be a classic.
That is going to be a classic. I mean, Robin Robertson is an absolute freaking creep. But if he ever did one decent thing in his entire life, it was chasing Joseph Martelli down the street from the bus station.
Yeah, man. But I heard about, early in the stream, I heard about twin 2-year-olds.
Yes.
Congratulations on that, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's maybe the content is scattered. I'm going to stay subbed, and I'm going to be waiting for more catches, more live streams, whatever it is, man.
Well, we're going to be doing a lot more live streams. We're actually working on kind of coming up with a format, if you will, a structure for them, rather than just kind of winging it like we're doing tonight. But you guys can count on seeing us live a heck of a lot more often. Numgums, thank you very much for your call. I appreciate you, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Appreciate you too, man. A lot of people do.
Take care, brother. And go Patriots. You said you're a New Englander. 9-1, baby. All right, that was cool to hear from Numgums. That's been a while. Honey, what do we got going on over there? Looks like you're handling trolls. You've got that fiery look in your eye, like, listen, you guys are fucked.
Basically, we don't like predator poachers.
That's bullshit.
We don't like our supporters. We
love our supporters.
Anyone. Our channel is struggling. We're money hungry.
Hungry.
Basically everything you can think of.
Money hungry. That's hilarious.
It's just kind of crazy because I can tell you we've spent way more money than we've got going on in this studio. We ask for donations to help with some of the costs and our time, but I would not even close to go as money hungry for any reason whatsoever.
I don't know. I think in total, I think we've had maybe $500 in donations since this whole thing started. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch to another camera here. And for you folks at home, this does not count the apps that we have to use to keep ourselves safe, to be able to record things. It doesn't help with the babysitter that we have to pay to take good care of our youngins while we're gone. It doesn't take care of gas. It doesn't take care of lodging. Just without all of that, we are conservatively, I don't know, $4,000 or $5,000 in. Just in equipment.
That's not counting the camera, actually.
No, that's not counting the camera. So we're working at this, guys. We're not money hungry, but we're also not, endlessly freaking wealthy. And we do need your support. That's the truth. We're going to need your support to do this. So whoever wants to cast that stone, go for it. What else, Boo Boo? You look like you just shredded somebody. Oh, excuse me, folks.
No, you just proved my point, really. Apparently we like talking to these predators as children. Basically, it's the same person throughout this whole thing, and I blocked him, but he keeps coming back at a whole bunch of different channels.
I see. All right. So somebody's incredibly bored. We'll let the other viewers jump in and we'll let them handle this guy.
Yeah.
And actually just screenshot the username and we'll pull up the IP.
They're the ones that have been talking about predator poachers since we started this stream, actually.
And I don't mind people asking questions about everything, but if you're that desperate, buddy, and you're not going to go away, we're going to help you go away, and we'll just report your IP to YouTube and document all your comments, and that should be ample. What else do we got going on?
That's about it. And then there was people talking about God and a whole bunch of different side conversations, but mostly that was it. Just that one troll. Yeah. Oh, and there was one more actually.
I like when my poop comes out clean.
Yeah. Poison Jam.
Montgomery. I don't know you, right? But I'm going to take a stab in the dark here and say you have an incredibly boring life, and you're trying to stand out any which way you can. So you've got your 5 seconds of fame, and now I'm going to remove you. Good day, sir.
Poison Jam kept saying these dudes get a thrill out of reading the chat logs and role-playing as kids. And then I said, where am I? I can personally say I get no pleasure from taking all of my free time to talk to these predators or acting like I was 13. And he said I can personally say, oh, he just deleted my message.
I figured out the right button to click on to permanently tell him to go fuck himself.
Yeah, but it just vanished as I was reading the message.
I'm very sorry for that. Can you heal a predator? I mean, I can't. Maybe the right, physician, possibly. My goal is not to heal. My goal is to draw attention in their own mind that what they're doing is fucked up, although I think they, likelihood already know. And then furthermore, my goal is to make sure that we are reporting on this so that the world sees that this is a very real problem, this is a very real situation, and this stuff actually happens. And through doing that, I believe that in time, if we all work together, we can start working on some better federal legislation. Predators need help, not a bullet to the head. I agree. I mean, I don't think you've ever... seen us, suggest that they do. I certainly don't think that way. I also think that, it's up to us to, defend our children, expose these monsters. Hello, caller. Can you hear us?
Hello?
Hello. Can you turn down the live stream in the background, please?
I just did.
All right. Excellent. Caller, can I have your name, please?
My name's Jerry.
Jerry, how are you this evening?
I'm doing all right. How are you, man?
You're better than I deserve. I can't bitch about anything.
Good. Hey, now, so who am I speaking to?
You're talking to Swampy.
Okay. You'll have to forgive me. I don't know everybody's names. I have been watching videos, Friends of Humanity. I've only caught like a few of them, and what I've seen I've always really enjoyed. I've always felt like you guys offer a more pragmatic approach to what is often kind of more sensationalistic. People kind of get vicarious thrills seeing, they want to see people get in trouble, okay?
I think you just articulated that better than even I could.
I beg your pardon?
I think you just articulated that better than even I could.
Okay. Well, I just want to say that I've always appreciated your approach, and that it's thought-provoking the way that you go about it, to use the word again, not sensationalistic. You're there to document what's going on.
I genuinely get the impression that you guys are truly there to protect and to be there instead of the 12-year-old or the 13-year-old or however old. Something that I heard you guys mention that I heard kind of tossed around a little bit was these predator poachers, right? We talked about that. You guys have talked about them recently, the last few minutes.
Yes.
Okay. These guys, while I admittedly got a kick out of them at first, I don't think where they're coming from is any sort of concern for the welfare of anybody. I think that they are getting an ego boost. I think they're essentially bullies. Not that people who would prey on a child don't deserve to be quote unquote bullied. I just think these guys reached their zenith in high school and they're not snapping towels at each other anymore in the locker room, and they're looking for another way basically to push people around. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do understand what you're saying, and I don't think you're the only person that has, perhaps felt that way. I will say this. Alex, the young gentleman that seems to be the face of this, it may be actually his channel, not sure, is only 19 years old. And I'm not trying to make excuses for people, but I think that you have a different perspective on things, perhaps, after you've had children. I'm in my mid-30s, and I think that a large part of it is inexperience. And,
Yeah.
I also see what you're saying. Is it the goal to protect children, or is it the goal to get a million views? In either event, at least their videos are exposing predators, and they're doing it with big numbers. I want to say thank you so much for the call tonight, Jim. Take care.
All right. Take care.
Hello, caller. Can you hear me?
Hi, yeah, I can hear you.
All right, caller. Who am I speaking with?
You're speaking to the guy who was in the chat, the silent photographer.
I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time?
The troll.
The guy that was in the chat, the silent cartographer.
Silent
was talking about the healing pedophiles.
Okay.
Nope,
Doing that
different person.
That whole thing.
All right. I'm sorry. My wife honestly has been handling the live chat while I've been taking care of this angle. But I do remember that comment, and I thank you for your call tonight. What's going on?
Well, basically, I'm learning to be a healer, and I know one day I'm gonna have to heal a client that comes in and says they have pedophilic thoughts, and I'm learning to accept people for how they are, to figure out what happened in their childhood to meet them how they are, instead of looking at people as monsters. And I see it a lot in your comment section. Like, I think you do amazing work. And I really like your approach of, you don't just try to vilify them and bully them. And I notice a lot of people that watch your videos, even in the comment section, they just say things like, oh, they should all be dead or all these things. And I get that because it's terrible what they do. But,
I mean, isn't that typically the knee-jerk reaction? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. It is the knee-jerk reaction. Like, I get that, but I just feel like Teal Swan has a video about this, and a lot of people don't get help because they know that they're going to be vilified. So we're never really going to fix this overall issue if we're waiting to lynch everyone that comes out. And I just wanted to hear, like, your perspective on that, because you've been doing this a lot longer than I have. I'm not even a healer yet.
Well, let me start here. If you don't think that, or for anybody out there, I appreciate the credit, but I don't want to take too much credit, because if anybody doesn't think that my knee-jerk reaction is to drop my camera and beat their ass, you're absolutely mistaken. I mean, my blood boils, my anxiety
fair.
goes up, my heart rate goes up. It'll be freezing outside, but I'm sweating. But the thing I keep in mind is that if I act on that, well, now I'm going to jail. The video's not going to go up. He's not going to get exposed. I'm going to lose, not him. So it's out of my sense of two things. Well, first of all, self-preservation, preservation of the channel. And secondly, to touch on your angle of this, I think there is a wildly big difference between being sick and being evil. And I think that sometimes people that are sick have sick thoughts, certainly very unhealthy thoughts. But when you act on that, the sick card for me is out the window, because there's no way that you don't know that what you're acting on is wrong. They may be conflicted, that they may have an attraction that's unnatural, but the other side of their consciousness is going to go, I know that this is wrong. So I think there's a big difference between being sick and being evil. And for those that are sick or those that have been evil, I hope you find treatment. I hope you find treatment. And if you don't, our channel and conservatively 100 others are going to be right there to bust your ass.
Yeah, no, I get that. I guess it's a little different for me because I've never been face to face with one yet. I'm sure once I'm in that situation, I'll actually see if my beliefs hold up. But yeah, I just wanted to get your take on it. I don't know. I think you're more level-headed than a lot of other people I've seen. I have seen you get emotional with some people, but I don't know. I've seen people just straight up bully and not really actually have a dialogue, I guess is what I appreciate about your videos. You'll actually talk to the person and try to understand. You know, you're more professional. I do appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate you hearing that come out of your mouth. It's a struggle, man. I'm not going to say that it comes easily, because it does not. But we do try to take a journalistic approach, and that is to, let them speak, put them in a situation where they're not too terrified to speak. And then in doing so, we have the ability to observe and report on what this predator or this person, however you want to call it, is thinking. Why they're acting on what they're acting on. Honey, you look like you have something to chime in on.
Numgums wants to know if he can have a wrench for moderator as well.
Numgum gets a wrench.
How do you do that?
Hey, thank you very much for the call. We're going to take another one.
All right, no problem. Thank you for
take
doing
care.
what
Good
you
night. Hello, caller. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, how are you?
Is this Friends of Humanity?
It certainly is. Are you there? Are you going to say something? No? All right. Cold feet it is. I'm not seeing Numgums in the list here for some reason.
What do you mean?
So I can give him his blue wrench.
All the way down.
Oop, I just found one.
Yeah, I think they probably lost the call because they're calling right back.
Hello, caller. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hello. Can you pause the live stream in the background?
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Who are we speaking with tonight?
Yep. Registered sex offender, and you're a fat bitch, and your wife looks like a...
That's the guy that said he was going to call. And I
right.
can't get him to go away.
No, that's okay, though, because we already screenshotted that, and we'll be able to pull the IP. All right. Anybody else want to give a chat tonight besides a ignorant sex offender that is mad because he can't control himself?
No, it was all about...
Can we get ones? Let us get ones.
Was it predator poachers?
Flood the channel, the chat with ones if that guy should go fuck himself. East is back Ben Hama.
Already did it.
Hide user on this channel. Oh, I just clicked undo. Damn it.
I was gonna say already. You have to.
Damn it. Come back to me. Come back. Hide user on this channel.
I already did that.
Alright. Well, I accidentally clicked undo. We're still trying to figure this thing out, folks. There's a whole bunch of new bells and whistles in here, and we know how to play with about 10% of them. Alright, guys, we're still taking your live calls here for a few more minutes. 1-631-458-1971 if you guys want to chat with us this evening. In Booble, Booble, I'd like to declare the Bowski.
Whole bunch
Caller,
of
can you hear me?
Hello.
This is the same guy that just called, isn't it?
Yep.
No, it's not. What are you talking about?
All right. Well, apparently you can hear me. What did you want to convey?
You piss on your balls.
You piss on your balls. You are one clever son of a bitch. Good God, how could anybody ever compete with that level of intellect?
This is the one that was super mad about predator poachers and just like basically won't stop being hateful because apparently they're obsessed. Either that or they're probably one of the predator poachers that are upset.
All right, well, we've got him blocked.
I already did that.
Well, I just did it from the phone. Teamwork. Raise it up. Wow! That's how we do it. Hello, 661. Can you hear us this evening? Oh, I accidentally turned your stuff down. Hello, caller. Can you hear us? Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
What's going on this evening? Who am I speaking with?
Nigger.
All right, we're going to block you too. I don't understand why people think they're clever saying that.
Yeah, everyone on here is like, it's the same guy too. You're not very great at advertising your voice in a whole bunch of different ways.
Hello, caller. Can you hear us? Hello, hello. Can you hear us?
What?
How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. Who am I speaking with tonight?
I'm the king of all the fucking...
Alright. We've got some wild people in this shit. I don't know. I think we're about 50% people that, want to stand up and do the right thing, and about 50% of people are just like, I want to bang little kids, and I'm mad about your channel.
Yeah, basically.
Dude, that one guy was stupid enough to call it. Never mind. I'm not even going to say that right now. Dear Mr. Troll, this is the moment where you realize you have just fucked up. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, hello.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Who am I speaking with?
I think I accidentally called the wrong number. I'm sorry.
The old wrong number routine. Okay, take care.
Same voice, wrong number.
Boost Dooskly Dooskly, I raise this glass to you, my love.
Cheers.
Hello?
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 Hello? Hey, girl, hey.
Hello?
Hey, girl.
Hello?
Hey, girl, hey.
Hello?
All right, I'm gonna come on the left field here for a second. My mic has
A mind of its own.
erectile dysfunction. This is what it does, people. I pick it up, and it just goes right back down. It's fucking frustrating. Maybe someday I can have an actual mic boom. That would be way cool.
Scroll down to your current.
Now, why you would troll somebody from your real number is beyond me. As he hangs up. Yeah, it's probably advisable there, buddy.
Uh-oh. That caller dialed you, but hung up already. Tap them in call history to call them
Okay,
back.
wait. The number that said that they were the wrong number, they actually were the right number. There's a lag in the stream, and I thought they had a wrong number.
Oh.
And that was Into the Key.
Into the Key. Into the
Call
Key. You
us
want to give a
again.
shout back? Give a shout back. We're going to actually start answering these not live here for a second. We'll tune them in as they warrant. Hello, can you hear us? Hello, hello, 707. Can you hear us? I say to you, sir, good day. Hello, you're live. Can you hear us?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Alright, hold on. Let me turn on my volume. Alright, hello, yeah, my name is Jason. How are you guys doing today?
Doing pretty good. How are you tonight, Jason?
Hey, thanks for asking. And I just wanted to call in to let you guys know that I love what you guys are doing. That takes a lot of guts, and I'm sorry for everything that's going on. Just know that it's working. Alright, guys.
All right, hey, we're going to actually put you on live now, Jason. You didn't make it live there for a moment. Are you still with us? Oh, he's gone. Jason, I appreciate your call. I appreciate your message. You still with us?
There.
You're still here.
I was just saying, my name is Jason. I was calling in to let you guys know that I love what you're doing, your mission. Ignore the trolls. You're fucking sad people. Keep doing you, guys.
We appreciate that, Jason. How long have you been following us?
I just came in about 20 minutes ago.
Okay, are you a subscriber with our channel? Oh, we have a donation that we didn't even
Sprinkle
catch.
cakes. It just
Holy
came
cow,
through.
that is so not okay.
It just came
Jason,
through.
Jason, I beg your pardon. Just please give me just a second here, if you don't mind.
Sprinkle cakes.
Sprinkle cakes. Thank you so much. You guys are both heroes. Thank you for everything you do to protect our most vulnerable. Ignore the haters. Sprinkle cakes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's important that we hear from people like you guys, and the fact that you would make a generous donation like that really helps a lot. We showed the camera a little bit tonight on the equipment. I'm hesitant to do that. I don't want to come across as bragging for a couple of reasons. A, assholes brag. B, there's a lot of people, we work hard at what we do. I'm not going to say we don't, but there's a lot of people that work even harder that don't have the ability to have some decent equipment to kind of try to pull these things off. And I don't want to shit on them any.
It's okay, no worries.
And then back to point A, people that brag suck. But if you guys did see, we really have put a lot into this, and we're really doing our best. So thank you very, 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 very much, Sprinkle Cakes.
Hold on 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Where was it? Shadow Band. He called with his real number the first time, had a follow-up question, but it didn't get picked up.
See you later.
Thanks, Jason. Sorry about that, buddy. Take care.
No problem.
All right. I'm not doing a great job of keeping up with the comments, honey. I'm very happy.
Shadow Band.
Shadow Band.
He tried to call back.
I called with my real number, had a follow-up question, but I didn't get picked up. I feel like if your name is Shadow Band...
No, he called. You already talked to him.
All right, we'll give it a whirl. We're going to mute this here for a second, folks. Hello.
Sprinkle Cakes.
Here we go.
This is Sprinkle Cakes?
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Sprinkle Cakes. I appreciate it.
You're welcome for the donation.
Well, you're very welcome.
You're welcome.
We'll put it to good use.
I'll take that money to get a fucking life.
And that was not Sprinkle Cakes, folks. We'll go ahead and mute that dumbass. Thank you for calling. We'll make sure that we block your number. Hello?
I'm the guy who called about the wrong number. I'm sorry. I think I got the right number.
Okay, all right. I thought maybe you got cold feet. That happens sometimes. You guys don't know how many times
Shadow Band.
You know, I've thought about going live and I get cold feet or there's a technical issue. What's going on, Shadow Band? What's your message to humanity tonight?
I think something's going wrong here.
He's gone again. Hello and good evening from wherever you may be. How are you going tonight?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Better than I deserve, I reckon. What's going on? Who am I speaking with?
My name's Streaming.
Your name's what?
It's pronounced Streaming. I'm not trolling. Don't get me.
All right. I don't suggest that
Streaming.
you are. All right. What's your message for humanity this evening?
I just wanted to praise them for what they're doing.
Well, you don't have to praise us, but that's considerate. What is it that you like? What is it you think we could do better?
Hold on, my phone's volume. Not right. Say that again?
I said, what is it that you like about the channel? And also, is there anything you think we can do better? What do you want to see more of?
Protecting the innocent more. That's what I like, and that's what I want them to do.
Well, I appreciate that. That's very kind.
Continue doing what they're doing.
All right. When I said, what's your message for humanity, I didn't necessarily mean us. If you had one thing that you wanted to put out into the world right now, what would you say?
Shadow Band said that wasn't
Pay
him,
attention
by the way.
to who's around your kids.
Vigilance. That's a great message. Thank you so much for your call tonight. Have a good night.
Yep, me too.
Sprinkle Cakes and I just said it out loud. Shadow Band both just said that was not them. It's the same person calling each time. Both of them just said it was not them that called.
Well, I assumed that the Sprinkle Cakes was not the person that we spoke with. It took about 2.5 seconds to figure that out.
But the Shadow Band, I didn't notice until he said, that's not me, that's not cool, that wasn't me. It's the other guy, hell no, that's not me. Between him and Sprinkle Cakes, that's what they're saying. Either way, thank you for the donation, and either way, thank you for the calls.
And thank you guys for sticking with us for so long. Like, seriously, we have not been as active as we would love to be. We touched on this when we first started the show. We have 5 children, including 2-year-old twins. I can't begin to explain to you how extremely unpredictable 2-year-old twins are.
They're crazy.
We'll have this idea in our mind, right? We'll be like, you know, tonight we're going to go live. We're going to go on at 10 o'clock. We'll get them upstairs. They lay down. They look all nice and comfy, as though they're going to go to sleep. You close the door. You tippy-toe downstairs. You step one singular toe into the studio, and they go, blah!
Basically.
So we appreciate you guys sticking with us. It's something we're working at, and it's a little easier now than it has been in the past. And as they get older, it'll become easier and easier. And in the meantime, when we can, we will.
Who's watching the kids right now?
Our kids are asleep. I'm guessing you're messaging from the West Coast.
We have a nice monitor situation, and it goes between all the kids' rooms, and we can see everything, and hear everything, and watch every move.
All right, 661 again. Just for shits and grins, huh? Hello, caller. You're live.
Hello. I really love what you guys are doing to protect the community.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you saying that. How you doing this evening?
Good. How are you doing?
Better than we deserve, certainly. How long have you been with us? As far as, like, how long have you been following the channel?
Probably for like 4 months already.
All right, and what was the first video that brought you in?
The one, hold on, let me check. It was, where's it at? It was like 1 year ago. The one with the guy who worked at the store and like he told you guys could fuck him at his job.
Yeah, the guy that wanted to kiss Lily. Wait.
No, the guy
Jason.
Yeah, no, Jason. That's the guy that told who he believed to be 13-year-old Lily that he wanted to teach her how to kiss. And
It would be okay.
Yeah, it would be okay.
Because he would act like her dad.
Yeah, they could go on a date and they could hold hands and nobody would be any the wiser because, you know, everybody would just think that he was her dad.
Yep. That guy is the dad.
Yeah, no, I think 1.2 million, I think, at this time. Somewhere around there, people know about his shenanigans at this point. Hey, thank you so much, caller, for the call, and we'll hopefully talk with you soon. Take care. All right, guys, we're going to take, like, 2 minutes. We're going to, like, take a 2-minute break here. You guys, if you need to go take a pee, if you got to go check something, do what you got to do. We're going to be back with you in about 2 minutes, okay? Be right back. Gums, I just wanted to reach out and say thank you very much for helping us in the comments section. We're going to be working to have some more moderators helping us moderate this thing. In the meantime, Numb Gums, you're doing a wonderful job, man. Thank you so much. Sounds to me like your motivation is to have intercourse with this girl. We're going to be back in 1 minute. T-minus 60 seconds, people. Grab a drink, do what you got to do, and we're coming right back. All right, guys, and just like that, we're right back. Boom. All right, so we're going to take a few more calls tonight. We're going to wrap this thing up. It's 1-631-458-1917. Give us a shout if you want to talk. Honey, what's going on in the chat?
Not a whole much. The person that you just got rid of, people were coming on them.
Oh, I'm sure they were. They're... What can we say? Let the haters hate and watch the predators pile up. What do you think about the pedophile? Wow, that's a very interesting comment. I'm going to read this one live. What do you think about pedophilia sex doll situation? Do you think they would help prevent more kids from becoming victims, or do you think it would just encourage the pedos? Honey, I'm going to have you respond to this one. What do you think on that?
I don't really think that anything we do is encouraging them.
I think that that would just be gross. And I think that it would just add to them wanting the real thing that much more. I mean, I don't think that that would do anything to really fix the problem. That's my take on it.
It will definitely make them worse.
Yeah, I think so.
That was Mr. Riot. I just said that.
I've got things quieted down a little bit in the chat. People are actually talking logical sense. The trolls didn't realize that we already did our homework on how to make you go away. And if you don't go away and you keep coming back under different channels, then we just screenshot it, send it to YouTube. They pull your IP address, and the next thing you know, your IP address is blocked from YouTube. So it's really, really, really not that hard. All right, guys, we're going to give you one last chance. If you want to get in tonight, it's 1-631-458-1971.
We definitely don't want to normalize the behavior, which is definitely not a great idea, but we also want to make sure that we're not being hateful, attacking them, hurting them. The citizen's arrest type of situation, you have to be prepared to handle that kind of situation. And we're not prepared for that, which is why we handle things a certain way, and we can actually get them to talk, and who knows, maybe they will actually get help.
VPNs are a thing, though. Yeah,
Yes.
but we can just block VPNs from our stream. I mean, again, I think a lot of these trolls need to do their troll homework. You guys have seen me restricted. Oh, dear God.
Same person.
Should we do it? Should we do it, folks? Well, why not? We're not going to take it live, but we'll take it. Hello, you're live. Who are we speaking with?
Hello, this is Ben.
Hi, Ben. How are you this evening?
I am good. I'm new to this channel, and I just really like what you guys are doing.
Well, we appreciate that. What is it that you care for?
I care about nigga.
And that's why you weren't live. Other people's children. Seriously, I mean, did you not have an after-school program? Did Daddy not, tell you were being a dumbass sometimes? I mean, my parental approach on things, I don't know how many of you guys have watched that 70s show. I see myself as a bit of Red, okay? Red, the dad from that 70s show. I mean, how many different ways could he convey that he was going to put his foot in your ass?
So far.
Deep. Okay, so I feel bad for you, fella. Take care. Find a life. I don't really know what to tell you, dude.
The silent choreographer, the person that called us a couple minutes ago, said talking and asking questions is huge. It's why I think you guys are so awesome. It's how we learn and grow as a species.
And
I agree.
I totally agree. You know, something else, honey, I want to touch on. All right, we'll take this call and I'll come back to it. We'll see what's going on.
Your not live thing is not working.
Hello, caller, you're live. Can you hear us?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear us? Callers.
You should ban Imagine, by the way.
Who should we ban?
Imagine, by the way. He's the one who's coordinating everything.
Imagine, by the way, I haven't. In all honesty, I'm not the one really taking care of the live chat.
Imagine, by the way, hasn't done anything.
Of the what?
I'm not sure who you mean by Imagine, by the way. Is that somebody in our comment section?
Yes, it is, and they're not doing anything.
Yeah, he's in YouTube.
Okay, and what makes you think that he's the main conspirator in this thing?
He has a Discord server with like 150 people.
150 people. Wow, he must feel very, very powerful.
No.
So, I mean, are you part of this Discord? Are you seeing what's going on in there?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's he saying?
He just posted your link.
Imagine, by the way, was who's out watching the kids right now. But I mean, the monitor literally goes to every room on that 15-second cycle. And after that, they're just commenting regularly. They're not doing anything crazy.
We do have a Discord server. We just started it up. I wasn't going to release it tonight. I'm not even sure I have the screen in front of me to be able to do so.
Did you make it from the Angry Bagel server?
The Angry Bagel server. I did. Okay, all right. Talk to me. So you know a little something here. You're coming from the deep recesses of the Friends of Humanity. So you're familiar with the Angry Bagel guy.
Absolute slander, fake news,
Yeah, we know
sad
everything.
faces.
We watch all the live streamers.
All right, all right. So what's your take on the Angry Bagel guy?
He probably shouldn't be making videos anymore.
Well, are you aware that he actually, from what we understand, just had a stroke?
Yeah, that's why he probably should lay it low.
It's probably time for him to calm the bleep down. Did you?
Yeah, he can't.
Did you watch the video of somebody prank calling him?
No.
Oh man. All right. So if you've been following this thing, and I don't want to bore everybody because I'm sure there's a lot of people that have absolutely no idea about this. The best thing I can tell those folks, do a YouTube search on Chris Morgan, the Angry Bagel guy. So Chris Morgan, the Angry Bagel guy, reached a degree of, I don't want to say fame, probably infamy, has become infamous for being a 4'11" angry person that has explosive situations in public for what seems to be little to no reason at all. And one of those was recorded and it went viral. On comes the birth of the Angry Bagel guy. So Angry Bagel guy starts this whole career thing up. He's on some shows, he's on some podcasts, and he ends up having to go to California to defend himself in a court case because he signed up for celebrity boxing and then ditched everybody. I mean, the promoter spent, I'm sure, thousands of dollars promoting it, and Chris Morgan just didn't show up. He's like, fuck it. So he gets sued. They sue him on a TV show called The Hot Bench, and he has to go to California. So at the same period of time, Jimmy Kimmel Live does about a 12-minute skit on this guy. And the next night, while he's in California to defend himself against this indefensible lawsuit that he's definitely going to lose, goes in front of the Jimmy Kimmel Live studios and starts freaking out, saying he wants to, show himself to the world. And this is, of course, like I said, after Jimmy Kimmel Live already doing a live show on him. Somehow, some way, somebody managed to track him down to his hotel room and call him and pretended to be a Jimmy Kimmel Live producer. The rest is history. My suggestion would be to look up a video from Abracadookie, or even on Chris Morgan's own channel. It's there. It's a video called Pranking Chris Morgan, but definitely funny stuff. Thank you for your call, guy. We got time for just a couple more. It's 1-631-458-1971 if you want to get through this evening. Honey, what's going on in the live chat? What's going on in life? What do you want to tell me?
Okay, so there's basically a couple people were talking about Chris Morgan. Some people were talking about Discord. Discord is full of pedos. This is something to look into. People want to know what our Discord address is, etc.
I think we might start giving the Discord address out, maybe to people that donate. Maybe that could be part of the incentive program, get to be part of the back end of the show, that type of thing. We haven't really released it yet. It does exist, but we haven't started sharing the link yet. Maybe that would be something good to look at for the future. And did you really send me a link to a news article about some place in Texas that they're going to start teaching kids anal sex?
Yep, that was a thing. Hold on.
What in the world is going on in the
you're
world
ringing.
Today? We're ringing. Hello, caller. You're live. Can you hear us?
Yo, what's up, brother? How you doing today?
Hey, man. How you doing?
I'm all right, man. This is 71 by 10.
71 by 10. All right. Hey.
Yep.
All right. I see you here in the chat when I'm looking up. All right. What do you want to chat about tonight?
Sir. Want to chat about predator poachers.
Okay. Are you a fan or not a fan?
No, not at all.
All right. And what's holding you back?
Niggers.
I could have told you that was him.
I mean, why didn't you tell me that was him?
Because it was him. He doesn't have a good idea of how to change his voice whatsoever.
Not at all. I mean, I guess I was oblivious to the situation, but it's not that hard to just block the guy.
I'm understanding that I sent it to you, but I can't find it.
You're talking about that news article from Texas?
Did I send that to you, or was
I'm not
it
even
not
sure I'm
sent to
prepared
you?
right now to discuss that article.
You're the one that brought it up.
That blows my mind. Like, you would think
I could
my
probably
mind would
find it,
already
yeah.
be blown, but this kind of shit just absolutely blows my mind.
Texas schools teaching anal sex. Yep, a whole bunch of stuff coming up. I urge you to read all of these articles because that's a thing starting this month. In sex ed, they will learn how to have anal sex.
I don't understand that.
To avoid pregnancy.
Wait a second.
To avoid pregnancy. And
what is
safe
wrong with
sex.
parents? I mean, don't you show up to the PTO meetings? don't you call, like, the principal, the superintendent, and tell them that they're fucking off their rockers? If somebody ever, I don't care if it's a teacher, a principal, if somebody ever tried to bring that into my child's mind, I would flip out.
Here's the other thing.
Awful. No,
Here's the other thing. Texas wants to move away from abstinence, only sex ed, and may start teaching sexual health as early as kindergarten.
I fucking dare you. I fucking dare you. All the teachers out there, let me tell you,
I'm
fucking
so glad
dare you.
we
I'm
do
not
live in Texas.
Thankfully, I'm not in Texas, but
Jesus Christ.
God
I could
bless
not do
the
that.
soul of the teacher that ever started trying to talk that way to my youngin'. They say that article was actually debunked by Snopes. I'm not sure what Snopes is.
There's literally like 10 articles.
Dear God, I hope it's been debunked. Please tell me that this is just like a journalist gone awry and that this is not a real thing, because that blows my mind in ways that are just not good.
No, it's not debunked. It's been all over everywhere for the last like 72 hours.
Well, Sprinkle Cake says in the chat, which I haven't been paying too much attention to, but I looked up and saw that article was debunked by Snopes.
Right, but one of them might have been, but there's a whole bunch, and there's a whole bunch of screenshots and snaps everywhere about it. It was
Don't
a
believe
thing.
everything you see online, and maybe it hasn't been debunked.
Exactly.
Dear God, I hope it has been.
I've seen it a whole bunch of places on a whole bunch of different
I mean, a lot of
sites.
folks know that we're from Maine, so I'm not really too worried about talking about that. I think if you tried to do that here in Maine, that would not go well. That would not go well at all. People would be coming out of their cold hut, marching in the snow, by whatever means possible to show up in front of the school and throw a fucking fit. Predator poachers sometimes are good, but they were wrong about the way they addressed the Asian kid. That's my point. I think that they're working incredibly hard to build a brand. I can see the efforts in a branding strategy. My point to them is that there's room for humor in everything. I think that the saddest, most painful things is where some of the best comedy is derived. But it's a fine line. And, videos like that, in my opinion, cross that line. But I think they're working incredibly hard to build a brand. I just hope that it's something that, can be sustainable for them. If they're going to put this much work into it, which they have, do it in a sustainable way. All right, let's try this. 914.
East raped my wife, ban. Presume 1 month. Hey, I just wanted to let you know East is the one who spammed your channel and called. He is a part of the child exporters.
Hello, caller. You're live.
Hi.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can I have your name, please?
Slap you right in your fingers, you fat ass. Fat little bitch.
Wow, you sound like somebody's seriously depraved mentally grandma on some kind of really fucked up drug. Congratulations, you're joining the list of blocked people. Don't worry, there's only so many people that are going to troll, okay? So over the course of the next, I'd say dozen shows where we take live calls, they'll call in, they'll say something stupid, and we'll block them. So we will work through it, and it's not going to discourage us. It's not going to make us go away. If you're not happy about what we're doing, that's on you. We take pride in what we're doing. We try to do it in the right way, and if you can't see that, I'm not really sure what to say to you. He's in jail, Sprinkle Cake.
Yeah, they were talking about a specific person, but they were all saying that he was fake. It was a voice changer, which is totally
Kayla,
true.
go call Lauren. They're talking about Lauren. Lauren was I want to be careful about the way I use him. It's an infamous child predator that was caught in Maine by Chris Hansen when they set up on the coast of Maine. And I think the rest is history. If you guys aren't familiar with it, type in something along the lines of Chris Hansen bust in Maine. Yes, Lauren Armstrong from TCAP, absolutely. I mean, I could be wrong on this, but I thought he was caught in Maine. I can tell you this much: we did a background search on him, and he's in Maine now. I've thought about showing up and doing an interview, but I'm like, is that news too old to really rehash? Who knows what his life looks like now? I don't think it's very common for people to change, but it does happen. I don't want to show up at his house and have him actually have changed and just start, tearing at old wounds and shit. But I think it's probably likely that he's living an oblivious life under a rock somewhere. Oh, he's definitely in Maine now. He's 100% in Maine now. We have some records for Mr. Lauren. He's in jail again. What do you say he's in jail again? Kayla, 13 female Kayla. Are you really 13? If you're 13, you should be in bed, asleep. Something.
Can I touch on something that was said really quick?
You can touch on whatever you want, baby. Hey.
So, Sprinkle Cake said, what happened to the gross guy who did the Frankenstein stubble in Spencer's?
Oh boy, Booba, I think I'll let you address that one. That was
Tony.
You put more work into that than I did, for certain.
That was very close to 2 months of talking to this guy. 2 tries to get across the border. A hotel room, 4 duffel bags, surveillance, and then a whole bunch of police crap.
The absolute, probably the sickest son of a gun that we have come across yet in our travels doing this. And we had every reason to believe that this man was not only trying to do inappropriate things with a child, but that he was in fact, honestly, legitimately a child trafficker. I mean, I think all the evidence that we watched accumulatively led me to that thought. What's everybody's favorite Friends of Humanity video? Show us in the comments. Let us know. What's your favorite Friends of Humanity video?
Num Gums, we think so too.
Should we just do it live, baby?
Haters calling. No haters calling. Call people that actually want to talk to us. Farting predator is the first response. Someone else is saying they're calling in.
The farting predator.
Farts and cancer guy.
I think what people don't necessarily always know is that was our very, very, very first confrontation. Was with Scott, a.k.a. as people have, dubbed him, the farting predator. And it was at that moment that I knew I had just fucked up.
It smelled very badly, to say the least. So it was a bad situation.
It was just altogether a really bad situation, and we're trying to keep our composures, right? I'm already super angry. I hadn't had a lot of practice at, confronting these kind of people, speaking with them, holding my temper, biting my tongue, trying to do things in a way that has some journalistic value. And here comes Scott the farting predator. Out the hotel door he goes, shuts it behind him, and now we're in a hotel corridor that's about that wide. And the man, if you haven't seen the video, he looks directly at Sophia, directly at my wife, and says, "Excuse me, I have to fart on this wall." And the first thing I think we thought was,
what?
Why? You're really going to blow ass in front of us? And then the second thought that came to my mind was, why the wall?
What is happening?
What did the wall do to you? I mean, he was predatoring the wall.
You need to tell me, please, how bad did his farts stink? I need to know, like, terrible. I was trying so hard not to gag.
A 12. If you guys watched the part 2 of the video or part 3...
I kept having to creep away because I literally could not handle it.
Oh. If you guys watched the follow-up interview with him, I don't remember what his... What did he say? I actually asked him.
No, I had talked to him on the way there, and he said that he was eating clam chowder at the bar.
It was the clam chowder, folks. It was the clam chowder. Stay the hell away from clam chowder unless you're trying to hurt somebody. It's just wrong.
It was terrible.
Good God. That guy was really sick, though. That guy was seriously
so hard
crazy.
Not to gag.
I mean, I get that the farts, there were several. I can see how people would think that was funny. I watch the videos and I can get a little giggle out of it. It just stinks that it was so overshadowing of the depravity of this man. All right, are we going to take this call 731? I feel like we've had a few 731 calls and not many of them have gone well.
Try, I guess.
You're on live with Friends of Humanity. Who are we speaking with?
Hello.
Hello?
Man, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
That's good, man.
All right, man. What you calling in to say, man?
Can you hear me? It's really bad.
I can hear you if you can hear me.
Connection. You hear me, Lee?
I hear you hearing me. I see you seeing me.
You hear? I'm gonna fuck my cousin.
How did I know? For now on, we don't take any calls from anything that starts with 731. Like, if you're calling from 731 and you have a valid point, I'm really sorry because we're not going to hear it.
This guy is just over the top and won't give it up.
I feel like he's waking his kids up. Hey, can I get your cell phone? Waking his wife up. Can I get your cell phone?
Neighbors, too, probably.
Probably waking the neighbors up. Can I get that cell phone? Good God almighty. What's wrong with people?
Numgums, were you referring to 21st Century Guy?
Yeah.
We have like a 15 second delay, so
we're dealing with almost a 30-second delay because of the equipment that we're using. It processes well, it keeps us crisp, keeps us looking good, but it definitely adds to a delay.
No, he was someone.
My
they
number starts with
knew.
773. You're going to get confused. All right, 773. Call it in right now. Call it in. We'll take the call. After this, I'm done with anything that starts with a 7.
13F Kayla. My numbers starts with 773. You're going to get confused.
That
Mr.
dude sounded
Rafe-
like he was from Kentucky or something. He called in all talking about wanting to have sexual relations with his cousin.
Mr. Reth said he was going to bed. Good night. He has to work tomorrow. And keep up the work. Thank you, thank you.
Can we make the chat log blow up with ones right now? Let me see the ones in the comment section. Just flood it. Flood me with ones. The ones let us know you care. 773. Here we go.
That would be the Kayla one.
Hello, Kayla. You're live with Friends of Humanity. How are you?
Hey, Kayla's a guy, but anyway, I just wanted to tell you that Lauren Armstrong, he was on TCAP. He was originally from Maine, but he moved to Nashville to become a country and western singer.
I'm familiar. Yep. Yes, I'm totally knowing what you're talking about.
I beg your pardon?
I said I totally know what you're talking about. Yeah, he
Okay. So then he went back to Maine, and now the details are sketchy about why he's back in jail, prison/jail. Maybe sugar cake goes, I don't know. But the rumor is, I know this sounds silly, the rumor is that he showed up at one of his meetings or whatever they have RSOs attend, that he showed up drunk, because Lauren does have a very pronounced alcohol problem. You were talking about maybe rehashing, showing up and talking to him or whatever, but he does have a very pronounced alcohol problem, and he's got a very strange dynamic. He on the one hand relishes his fame, and on the other, he's got an uncontrollable drinking problem, and he blames the world for... He's an interesting character, for sure, but yes, he's back in jail.
I mean, has anybody confirmed this? I mean, if he was in prison, that would be very easy to confirm, but...
It's a matter of public record. If you search his RSO in Maine, like I don't know if I did home facts or what, I think I just put Lauren Armstrong registered, and it said, like, in custody. He's in custody. He's in jail.
All right, I hope you can hear me. I'm setting the phone down. I hope that you can hear me. I'm actually going to do a little bit of homework here live. Bear with me here. Don't give up on me. Lauren Armstrong, Maine. Let's see what I can do to try to confirm this. Lauren was definitely crazy.
Can confirm.
I'm sorry, say again?
Sprinkle cake, she said, can confirm.
Alright, here we are. I'm going to try to do a screen share, but it's not set up for this website, so it may come through looking kind of funny.
Justin Brown says that he doesn't trust Kyla. Well, I'm just a regular guy who's been watching TCAP for years, so I don't know.
Alright, well, I hope you guys can see on the screen. I know we're dealing with about a 30-second delay here, but we've pulled up the registry. I will attempt to resize things so that everybody else can see.
Yeah.
Bear with me.
domicile?
Dover Foxcroft, Maine, which is, in all honesty, the last time, it's been a while, but the last time that I looked him up, that's where he was. Updated 11/21. Attempt unlawful transaction with minor less than 16 years old. Well, so far this doesn't really seem to confirm that, but for people that don't know who we're talking about this guy right here.
They were talking. I can't remember whose channel it was. They were talking about how he was spending his birthday in jail because he just had his birthday last month.
Yeah, October 18th, 1970, according to this.
Yeah, one more year, Lorne, and it's the big 5-0.
All right, well, we're going to wrap this thing up. If you had one message for Lauren Armstrong, what would that message be?
Write another book, Lorne, but come clean and try to look within yourself and be honest.
All right, I think that's a pretty good message. I thank you so much for your call, and you have a great night.
Take it easy.
Oh, something's going on.
Love what you guys are doing. Keep it up.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I can't, it's not showing me the name very easily. I'll make sure we give this person proper credit.
What?
We had a donation, but it's
not showing up.
John H. donated $5. Thank you very much, John H. I appreciate that. We're going to 731. Oh, hell no. No 731. 323? We'll try it. I'm trying to take your call, but it's just not going through.
Uh-oh. That caller dialed you but hung up already. Tap them in call history to call them back.
Hello?
Hello, you're live with Friends of Humanity. What's your name, caller?
My name is Alistair Hackett.
Hold on, say that again. Alistair Hackett?
Alistair Hackett, yes.
All right, and what's your message for humanity this evening?
Well, I just wanted to give a story about, I had a teacher who was, a couple years back, he was my high school teacher, and he was arrested. His niece had come out and had allegations that were proved to be true about him molesting her multiple times throughout her childhood, and it was just really like it was a really big story, and I feel it would be good to hear.
All right, please indulge us. That kind of stuff's scary. I mean, you look at teachers for leadership, trust, and when they let our children down like that, that is really scary stuff. Please share your story.
Right, so he was his name is Prioli, Joseph Prioli, so if you want to look him up online, there's information about him. It's in New Jersey. That's where I'm from originally. I live out here in Los Angeles now. But yeah, he was my computer science teacher. He was a deacon. I went to a Christian school, and he's a very, very religious guy. And he would start the class. Our teachers would start with a 20-second prayer. He would start with a minute and a half long prayer. Seemed like a very religious guy. And every day we show up, and then mid-January, this was my sophomore year, midway through the year. This is at the year after he left. He left after my freshman year, I believe. And then sophomore year, so he's my teacher my entire freshman year. Then sophomore year, the allegations come out about him and his niece. He's been molesting his niece from age about, I think it was like 10 to 13, then like 14 to 15. I'm not sure the exact ages, but it was like two different time spans. And I mean, just to know that someone who, as a minor, who you're supposed to, like you brought up, like you're supposed to look up to them, and to see him being capable of something like this, an adult who I see every day, to do something to a child is, I mean, it's shocking. It was shocking to experience, and I'll never forget that.
What was the outcome of it? Did he do jail
He's
time?
in prison now.
He's in prison. Okay, good.
Prioli is, yeah, like I said, you can look him up. Joe Prioli, New Jersey. He was arrested back in 2017, and he's in prison now. I think it's 4 years he got.
Wow, I mean, I can totally understand why you would be shocked. You spent so much time around this guy only to find out that he's not what you thought he was. How did that affect? I mean, I guess first of all, did you ever see anything in him that even slightly made you wonder or scratch your head? Were there any warning signs looking back?
Well, I think that what's really interesting is he seems like the really stiff Christian Catholic type. That's the vibe that he gave off. And I think that a lot of times when you see these these Catholic types being busted for these sex-related crimes, I think that type, that kind of stiff, really oriented, like that type is really the most common in terms of the ones who end up in scandals like this. So I think those are the ones, those like old, like die-hard Christian types. They raise a lot of eyebrows, and that's what after it happened, after it all went down, I was able to put two and two together. So I think those old men, those old religious men. I mean, obviously, not all of them are pedophiles, but there definitely are some, and that's the only interpretation I got from him. I didn't see any signs of like him being like a pedophile. He never touched anybody, obviously, in the school, but yeah, just that old religious man type of thing is scary. It's scary, and I think those are to be. You got to watch out for people like that.
Yeah, and it's hard, right? Because I mean, people can try to watch out for that, but there's not always, this glaring sign above their head that says, I'm a dirty old man and I like to make sexual aggressions against children. I mean, there's not always that clear sign. And I want to thank you so much for your call this evening. And
Betty Barrett just commented.
I think I want to touch on this real quick. Let's go to the... I want to touch on something real quick. And Betty Barrett, I just heard your name from my wife's mouth. That makes my heart happy. But I just want to get this one thought out real quick. And you stop me, honey. I don't want to speak for you. I'm just going to speak for me, and maybe you share the same thought. But throughout doing this, there's been times that the material and the people that we uncover can lead my psychology, or my brain, if you will, to almost be skeptical of everybody. You start seeing people in a different light. And I didn't like that. That's the one thing I hate the most about this, is you stop necessarily taking everybody at face value and seeing the good, and you start worrying about the bad in people. And if there's one point that I really want to drive home, I think that there are still more good people than bad. I hope that's true. If that's not true, boy, are we all screwed. Again, thank you so much for your call this evening.
Appreciate it.
Betty Barrett says she cannot hear us and she's as high as she can go.
Betty Barrett, can you hear us? Why don't I see her in the comments here?
Scroll up a tiny bit. One comment.
Oop, there's Betty. And actually, while you're here, Betty, I hope you can hear me now. I am going to set you to a moderator. So, Betty, if you can hear us, what that's going to allow you to do is if you see something that's just very clearly in poor taste in our live chat or in our comment section, you actually have the power now to delete that, get it out of here. It's not a responsibility that I'm trying to lay on you or anything like that, but if you feel so inclined, just know that you now have the moderator privileges. What do you have to...
Background on Betty Barrett. She's been with us since we started. I would say probably like 7 subscribers.
Seriously, Betty's been with us since pretty much the get-go. And one of the things I love about Betty is that she's always honest. She's caught me, maybe speaking, tongue to cheek. And she's called me on it, Swampy, that's not the right thing. And I think that's what I love so much about Betty is that she's brutally honest. She has our back. When there is criticism, it's constructive, and it's designed to help us improve what we're doing. And Betty, we really appreciate you. Am I missing anything else here in this live chat, my love?
Sprinkle Cake said her best friend's husband, who was part of my friend circle and a coworker, was arrested while teaching music, molesting kids in the room where he was giving lessons while the parents sat outside. That's rough.
I can't even put myself into that mental space in my mind and try to think of myself having any sort of rational reaction. It's crazy how many people that we look to for advice, leadership, guidance, they're not always who we think they are, but the flip side to that is a lot of times they are. And how do you balance that? How do you go into something with your guard up a little bit, and try to see through that? At what point do you let your guard down and say, okay, this person is legit? It's just kind of a scary thing, really.
Could be anyone.
It could be anyone. And they don't always look like a...
Or act.
Or act like a Robert Robertson type. You don't always see it coming. We're going to take this last call and we're going to call it night. Caller, you're live. Can I have your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Mike.
Mike, how's it going this evening?
Alright, you?
Not too bad. Your number starts with a 7, so I'm already a bit skeptical.
I know, I heard you talk about it earlier.
Are you about to shout the N-word?
Do what?
Are you about to shout the N-word?
No. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's definitely him.
I just got on your stream.
That was definitely him. If it's not you, I'm very, very sorry, but you have too many vocal traits of that same person.
If it's not, you call back again, right now.
I mean, that's not definitive at all. That's not definitive at all.
I guess that's true. Sprinkle Cake says, yeah, you can Google him. Sean Dow, he fled our state, cut his ankle bracelet off, and headed to Cali, was caught, and now is in prison with life without parole. Good.
I'm gonna take it. Why not? Here we go. Hello, person starting with a 7 with the same exact same voice that has already dropped the N-word like 6 times on our channel.
You hung up on me.
Well,
I've been trying to call for a little bit.
All right. What's your message for humanity?
A message for who?
What's your message to humanity? What's your message to the world? What do you want to chat about tonight?
No, I was just calling to tell my molestation.
All right, and we're happy to be an avenue for that, as long as you try to keep it PG. Tell us a little bit about your experience in life.
Well, I saw that about the Lauren guy. It just reminded me of what happened to me when I was a kid.
All right, do you care to elaborate on that or no?
Yeah, a dude named Bobby Wanger. He lives in Milan, Tennessee. I moved from Tennessee. He shoved his cock in my butt.
And that's where we drop you off. And you are now blocked. Congratulations, sir.
Even if that was real, it's not appropriate for our channel
to absolute dumbasses.
Elaborate like that.
We'll get through them, honey. I mean, they're already slowing down. We're picking through them pretty good.
Bronco the Dodge. What happened to freedom of speech? Well, there's a point in things.
He has his freedom of speech, and we have our freedom to broadcast what we want to broadcast and not broadcast what we don't want to broadcast. So he can take his freedom of speech and his obscenities and yell it outside or something. I don't know. Somebody will hear him. It won't be me.
And if it was someone who was completely honest and that actually happened to him, I'm not saying it was. I'm saying it was totally a troll. But I'm saying if that was, we still would not be able to handle that in that wording on the channel. That's not how we're doing it.
No, agreed. And I mean, I'd love us to be a sounding board for people that maybe have not ever told somebody about something that's happened in their life, or maybe they have told people and they're willing to share that experience. I don't want to shut the door to that. I think that's important. I see that all the time in our comments section. My wife and I both see that all the time. The meaningful, important conversations that happen in the comment sections of our videos sometimes are incredibly powerful. Essentially, you have victims talking with other victims and forming essentially a makeshift support group. And we think that's a beautiful thing. But if you want to tell your story, if we do a call-in sometimes and that's the topic, and you want to participate, you need to do it in a way that's at least PG. Even R's okay. But if you get X-rated at all, you're gone. All right, everybody. We want to say thank you for tuning in. We want to say thank you for all the love and support. We want to say thank you to our donors. We cannot continue to do this without you. We've put everything into this that we can put into this. And at this point, it's going to essentially sink or swim. So we're depending on your help. We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate everything you guys are doing. And that's really it. You guys can start to count on seeing us live. We've been talking about twice a week, probably Wednesdays and Friday evenings. We're going to work on that. Like we told you, we got 2-year-old twins on top of 3 other children. You never know what life is going to throw you. But if we can, we will. And we love you guys, all right? So take care. God bless. And we'll see you on the next live.